Buenos dias! Welcome to Cooking with Kaufman. Today we have some guests from all around the globe.
Hola, I am head chef Maria Martinez. I'm Venezuelan and I studied at La Cordon Bleu University in the Caracas campus.
안녕하세요. I am sous chef Cho. I am from South Korea and I was the head chef at Sonderman Prison. So Adika, I'm one of today's food expert, Polina Siravishian. I'm from Thailand and studied at the Arts Institute of Bangkok.
안녕하세요. I'm food expert Amy Kim from South Korea. I studied at the Seoul Culinary School.
Ciao, I'm food expert Natalie Phan from Vietnam. I studied at the Saigon La Cordon Bleu campus.
Hola, me llamo Eduardo, and I'm an avocado specialist from Mexico, and I got me a GED.
Hello, and today in Kaufman's kitchen we're preparing one of my favorite dishes, guacamole. And you know, one of the first things I love to do is cut up the avocado. So I'm going to have Chef Maria come over here and help me out with that. Thank you. So first step.
You take the avocado, you slice it down all the way around, and you take it apart. And then you have two separate pieces.
Wow. So it's really just that simple? Yeah, I think I'm going to have my kids start doing it if it's that easy. So after that, what's the next step?
Then you just take a fork and then you start mashing it all together.
Alrighty, so while that's going on, we're going to bring in our first food specialist all the way from Vietnam, Natalie Phan. It's great to see you.
Okay, so avocados originated from South America, but they migrated to Mexico, and then they became really popular, so they were later brought to America.
That's really interesting. Thank you for coming.
Here's an interesting fact about one of our ingredients. To ripen avocados, place the fruit in a brown paper bag and store them at room temperature for 2 to 5 days. Adding an apple or banana to the bag will speed up the ripening process.
Okay, so now that I've mashed the 3 avocados I've placed in this bowl, one tip and trick for you all at home is I like to take the seed of the avocado and place it in. Putting the seed in allows it to keep the guacamole that I'm making green and preserved. And so right now, while I'm done with this, I'd like to bring in sous chef Cho. It's great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Now, why don't you explain to us all what you're about to do?
Okay, you're just going to take 1/4 of an onion, and then you're just going to dice the onions. And then I'll just do this.
You're doing this so well, it brings tears to my eyes.
You're just going to get the onions, and then you're just going to pour it in the guacamole.
Oh,
And then after you put the onions inside, you're just going to mix it again. And you're just going to mix it until the onions are spread throughout the whole bowl.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so anywho, we have food expert Amy Kim here, all the way from South Korea, and she's going to explain to us the history of red onions.
Thank you, David. Scientists are unsure where red onions were first cultivated, but they say onions have been eaten since a prehistoric era.
Alright, so the next step in making guacamole is to add lemon. So we're going to bring back Chef Maria to help us out with that.
Okay, so you just cut one regular lemon in half. Okay,
Make sure it's seedless.
yeah. Take out the seeds. And then you take both slices and then you just squeeze them inside of your guacamole mix.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And,
And
then,
then-
you mix it, you stir it all together until it's evenly spread throughout the whole bowl.
And the next thing we're going to do is with the salt. You take half a teaspoon of salt, which you got right here, and you put it in, and then we'll have you continue mixing.
So you just stir everything together.
In 1650 BC, salt was first discovered at a salt spring in Romania. It was often traded in the Silk Road.
So here's another interesting tale. Christian folktale states you can burn salt to counteract witchcraft. Another folk tale states a minister shall place salt upon a newborn's mouth to save the child from sinning.
Just a reminder for all you watching at home, make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Cooking with Kaufman.
Okay, you can try some now.
Oh, thank you. Mmm, that is wonderful. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
No one knew exactly where lemons were originated, but some people say that lemons were first cultivated in Assam, northern Burma, and China.
It got to the US during the California Gold Rush of 1849.
Alrighty, so the next step is with tomatoes. So we're gonna take one tomato and we're gonna cut that up. But I'll bring in Sous Chef Cho to handle that. It's great to see you again.
Okay, we're just gonna cut the tomato.
Alright, so just to recap, so far we've used 3 avocados. We've taken the seed from the avocado and placed it in while mixing to keep the guacamole preserved. We've added 1/4 of an onion. We've put a whole lemon in, cut it, squeezed it in, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And right now, which is our next step, is cutting up the tomatoes for a nice pico de gallo. Okay, so our next step is to put the tomatoes into the guacamole bowl.
Put them all in the bowl.
Alright, thank you. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is mix it. Ah, perfect.
Here's some interesting avocado myths. For the Aztecs, avocados were considered a fruit of kings and was a luxury. They also believed that avocados are the fertility fruit, and during harvest season, Aztec families would let their virgin daughters outside of the house. Another avocado myth is that a Mayan princess ate the first avocado and believed it had mystical magical powers.
Welcome back to Cooking with Kaufman, or as they say in Mexico, Bienvenida de nuevo. So today in Cooking with Kaufman, like any other day, we do a special bonus dish to go along with our main dish, which today was guacamole. So in addition, we are making tortilla chips. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get corn tortillas, and I'm going to take my corn tortillas and cut them each into 6 different pieces. So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to go on to the next station. Okay, so now we're here in station 2, and I'm going to go in a little more about the dish. So besides corn tortillas, you're going to need a few other things. You want some functioning tongs, you're going to want a medium-sized pan, a nice functioning stove, canola oil, and some salt. Now, the next part of the dish is you're going to take 2/3 cup of canola oil, and you're going to want to pour it into your pan. So the next thing you want to do is you want to put the stove on to a medium-high. And you're set. Okay, so the next step into making tortilla chips is you want to take your dry tortilla chips and you're going to put them in the pan for 2 minutes. So you want to gently toss them in. Okay, so while they're in the pan, you want to pat the chips down and make sure they're getting full contact with the oil. And if you see that one side you think's getting a little more than the other, you're going to try to get it and flip them over. Most importantly, you want to make sure they don't touch, or otherwise they'll stick together. Okay, so when the chips start to brown and when you're pushing them down they're no longer bending, it's time for you to take them out. So first thing you want to do is you want to get a paper towel. You're going to put that on the plate. And then you're going to take the chips out, one at a time. Okay, so once all your chips are in, you're going to take another paper towel and you want to pat it down gently to get all the excess grease off. Okay, now that you're done with that, you want to add a tint of love and a bit of salt. So let me get a little salt. Ooh, can't wait to try one of these. Delicious. Okay, so if you want to continue the tortilla chip making process, you just follow the same steps done as previously. Pretty simple, and you can make as many as your heart desires. And remember, February 24th, National Tortilla Chip Day, and this was another great segment of Bonus Cooking with Kaufman. Thank you for watching Cooking with Kaufman. Hasta luego and adios! Put the tortilla chips into the oil for around 2 minutes. So you want to gently put them in there. Oh.
You ain't talking money, you ain't saying nothing. If you ain't talking money, you ain't saying nothing. If you ain't talking money, you ain't saying nothing. If you ain't talking money, you ain't saying nothing.